That's not what I read. The true sign of the apocalypse is someone that dumb has a law degree. Worse, if your name has the word sun in it, there's no excuse for not knowing how an eclipse works. But it's no surprise that Joy is the one who understands science. She's been on the science diet for years.
Oh no, nothing really comes to mind. I was like, shing. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be, this should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last, call them Hitler, they call these things, America rejected them. And instead of coming back and saying, we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through your lies. So keep doing what you're doing. Game ball to Sunny.
Sunny Hostin recently had a really tough time on TV when Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus called her out so strongly that it seemed like she wanted to sue everyone around her. What began as another confident moment where Sunny was speaking her mind quickly turned into a huge dramatic scene that surprised everyone watching. Honestly, you've never seen Sunny break down quite like this before. Gutfeld arrived with super sharp jokes and clever comments. Tyrus showed up with real facts and proof. And Sunny, well, she had a complete breakdown that made everything fall apart like a shaky chair collapsing. If you believe daytime TV was a safe and calm place, you better think twice, because this moment hit so powerfully it could have broken the actual desk on The View. Buckle up, because this story is about to get really interesting.
Hostin's obsession with race gets thrown back in her face. Today's video comes to us from Sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice. Well, turns out she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from...
Sunny Hostin sat at her usual table, wearing expensive designer clothes and looking ready to give another big speech like she was teaching a class on being overly dramatic at some made-up college for woke culture. But instead of getting cheers or praise from people, she walked straight into a storm of cold, harsh reality that came from Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus, who were speaking from a completely different TV studio, which somehow made their words hit even harder. 1 second she was acting super confident like her thoughts were the only correct ones. And the very next second, the internet made her long speech into a funny viral video called "When Being Overconfident Meets Real Facts," showing how quickly things can fall apart when confidence runs into actual truth.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate it.
This wasn't The View anymore. It had turned into a complete roasting session, and Sunny showed up without any protection at all, while everyone turned up the heat to maximum level. Gutfeld didn't even have to walk into the studio building to completely destroy her argument. All he needed was one moment that went viral, some really smart thinking, and a big helping of sarcasm that cut right through everything she said. And Tyrus never even raised his voice one bit. Instead, he made things so serious, so smoothly, it was like watching someone calmly place explosives under a house made of paper. While Sunny pointed her finger from her talk show chair like a queen, Tyrus brought real evidence that made her whole story look weak enough to rip like a tissue. And this wasn't even her first time treating her seat on The View like some kind of dramatic confession spot that nobody asked for, because she often speaks as if she's describing the end of the world one fancy breakfast at a time.
Sure, all that. And the price of butter. Sunny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her asking that question, it might have been a closer election. But when oh no, nothing really comes to mind, I was like, shing. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be, this should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last, call them Hitler, they call these things, America rejected them. And instead of coming back and saying, we lied, They instead are now doubling down.
She once bravely said that certain voters, who are people of color, couldn't really understand their own thoughts about politics, unless those thoughts happened to match exactly what she believes. It was like she thought she was the official guard at the gate, deciding whose opinion counts as real. In Sunny's world, anyone who thinks differently must be mixed up, tricked by someone, or sadly not good enough to get invited to her imaginary reading group. But when somebody keeps talking like they're better than everyone else from way up high, eventually those tall stilts begin to shake. And sooner or later, someone kicks them away with serious force. That's exactly what Gutfeld and Tyrus did, without even walking onto the TV set, shooting uncomfortable truths from far away, while Sunny acted like someone who accidentally brought a soft toy bat to fight against a powerful chainsaw.
Their brains are small. But who's the dumbest one of all? True, none of them are in Mensa, but who's the most densa? Perhaps it's Sunny who mastered the art of making idiots look smart. Now The View could ask a mirror who's the dumbest one of all, but there's no way that glass doesn't shatter. So instead, let's check out this clip from Monday's episode of The View when the ladies put their science caps on and discuss the solar eclipse.
What made this moment even crazier was how quickly everything fell apart under pressure, like the studio lights went dim when real facts showed up. Yet, the other hosts kept sticking to their script like backup dancers, trying to keep going while Whoopi nodded seriously. Ana Navarro sighed dramatically like the world was ending, and Joy Behar tilted her head pretending to listen while secretly thinking about lunch. That's the strange thing about The View. It's not really a discussion, but more like everyone agreeing together. Disagreement is treated like a disease, and real facts get hidden away. Watch closely, and you'll see that when Sunny says something wrong, the others nod like happy dogs waiting for treats. When things fall apart, they switch to emotions or random news to distract everyone. If criticism hits hard, they yell fake news and use fancy words to cover it up. But this time, the breakdown was too big and too loud to hide.
No, nothing really comes to mind. I was like, shing. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be, there should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last, they call them Hitler, they call these things, America rejected them. And instead of coming back and saying, we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through your lies. So keep doing what you're doing. Game ball the Senate.
Because Gutfeld and Tyrus didn't follow The View's weird rules. They came from the five with confidence and common sense. They dropped truth bombs, so casually it felt like friendly reminders instead of destroying arguments. No yelling, no drama, just calm accuracy that cut through Sunny's points while she tried to swat facts away. Nothing feels better than watching someone who built their career on speeches to clapping audiences suddenly get hit with complete silence. The kind that shows every weak spot. Sunny will come back tomorrow with a fresh opinion and another long speech. But deep inside, she knows when a reality check hits that hard, you don't just bounce back. You stay upset. That's what happened as the conversation changed from another blame everyone moment into comedy gold when Gutfeld and Tyrus set everything on fire with logic nobody was ready for.
I think that women, white women in particular, want to protect the patriarchy here because it's to their benefit. Yeah. They want to make sure that their husbands do well. They want to make sure that their sons do well. They want to make sure that their children do well. And they want to make sure that they do well. Most of the women in some of these studies are married white women, and they do fall in line with what their husbands are doing.
People have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions? Yeah. Like you said, it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say on The View, because without it, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. So, but the problem with her is that she went full racist.
The topic was crime and police in America, something Sunny talks about with intense anger she normally saves for cold coffee. She gave an emotional speech between dramatic sighs and finger-pointing, making it sound like police were the cause of everything bad. Crime was misunderstood art, and the real problem was people not listening to her. It was classic Sunny, full of anger but lacking real facts, delivered like a popular hashtag counts as real policy. Then Gutfeld and Tyrus came in, calm and ready with numbers. Gutfeld mentioned how people shouting "defund the police" live far from neighborhoods needing police, acting like private security is normal while working areas should use social workers, leaving Sunny blinking confused. The room lost energy as her argument deflated in real time.
It's not even that. In The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and was it Bette Midler? What's her name? Yeah, broke-ass Bette Midler. Fire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back.
Tyrus jumped in next.
Tyrus jumped in next with statistics about violent crime in cities that defund police, reminding everyone about celebrities who hire off-duty cops while preaching about community safety. His style was calm and bored, like explaining facts to people who forget them instantly. Then Greg delivered the knockout punch with one sentence that exploded. The mood shifted from debate to damage control. Sunny tried changing direction with mental gymnastics, hoping nobody noticed her argument caught fire on TV. But the internet noticed, and so did ratings. Tyrus dropped another truth that shattered her defenses, proving he didn't need to shout. He just delivered facts quietly, leaving the show scrambling.
The problem is that you have to go after the racist people. And if be the CEO goes, you know what, I'm not going to allow a woman on my show or man that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racists on TV who could just go all day and say anything about white people. And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Yeah, you know, Emily.
He spoke with street-level sharpness from seeing real life without media privilege, creating an intense difference. This wasn't prepared speech under fancy lights. It was raw truth in firm logic that hit harder than expected. Tyrus challenged her beliefs and called out privilege she and media elites hide behind when pretending to speak for people they barely know. While Sunny played voice of the oppressed, Tyrus reminded everyone she has little in common with working-class people. Nobody speaks for people in tough situations when their biggest worry is fancy brunch. Tyrus said this casually, making her rethink every argument, especially while wearing a simple t-shirt as she wore moral superiority like an oversized cape. Sunny's reaction was pure silence as she scrambled internally while Joy whispered abort mission in the background.
Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City.
When facts hit Sunny harder than expected, she pulled her classic escape move, flipping from confident expert to self-declared victim, as if unfairly attacked instead of confronted with contradictions. When Tyrus and Greg delivered reality checks, Sunny became the person who starts fights then cries when someone fights back, accusing them of aggression, though she stirred trouble first. Truth was simple. Sunny set everything on fire while pretending to watch calmly, loving to throw punches only when nobody punches back. Her moral superiority crumbled when told she stood on sinking sand, not solid ground. You could hear her internal panic. I'm supposed to give lessons. How is this happening? The irony was clear. When things got real, she swapped debate for victimhood. The same woman criticizing others for lacking empathy, suddenly crying about being attacked, shocking everyone.
So that makes Sunny Hostin, who thinks climate change caused the solar eclipse, the dumbest of them all. Because everyone knows the moon caused the eclipse, which is controlled by the View's gravitational pull.
Then there was the audience, confused people caught in this TV disaster, unsure whether to clap, laugh, or hide as the show spiraled. Social media exploded within minutes, making Sunny's meltdown the newest viral meme on Twitter, where the internet roasted the rich and overconfident. Suddenly, Sunny wasn't just a co-host having a bad day. She became a symbol of how fast self-righteousness collapses when confronted with substance instead of applause. After this chaos, you'd think The View would acknowledge it, maybe reflect, but they chose their favorite plan: pretend it never happened. The next episode opened with dogs doing yoga, as if a stretching puppy could erase yesterday's meltdown. They acted normal, sliding from Sunny's collapse to celebrity gossip with zero mention, zero responsibility, and polished pretending. It's amazing how easily they maintain that illusion while claiming to be experts on everything.
Of this, will she continue to do that when she is now one of them, Dana? And it is funny, she's so wrapped up in identity and she had no idea who she was.
But here's why this matters. The show represents a media echo chamber where self-assured panelists sit comfortably congratulating each other for opinions based on emotions, not facts. They create an environment where disagreement is a threat, not conversation. Gutfeld and Tyrus didn't just roast Sunny. They exposed the show's commentary style, revealing how out of touch it gets when people pretend to speak for the working class from a comfortable studio. Sunny's meltdown wasn't just personal collapse. It reminded everyone that arrogance and emotional rants can't drown out truth forever. Looking back, the pattern is clear. Sunny started smug. Gutfeld demolished her argument with facts. Tyrus dropped more truths. Then Sunny retreated into word mess that couldn't hide how badly it went. In the end, it felt poetic because in the battle between reality and the show's protected bubble, reality finally grabbed screen time, and it was glorious.